Class on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, Chapter 7, Text Number 4, given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 4 March 1974 in Mayapur.
Sri Gurun Vaishnava.
Translation. These five tattvas incarnate with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and thus the Lord executes his Sankirtan movement with great pleasure.
The tattva, absolute truth, I tried to explain last night. Tattva, Krishna has spoken about tattva in the Bhagavad Gita, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam also there is statement of tattva. Vadanti tattva vidas satyam. Tattva, the truth, can be learned from the tattva vida, one who knows. The absolute truth cannot be ascertained by imaginative speculation. One has to learn the tattva from the tattvavid. Therefore, the tattvavid vadanti. Vadanti means they explain. Tattvavid, one who is tattvavid, he explains. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tatyam jadgyanam adhyam. One who knows, he is not silent. He is to preach. He is to speak. Nowadays it has become a fashion to be Mauni Baba, does not speak. So, these are maybe very good device for professional business. But so far we are concerned in the Vedic culture, the tattvavid must speak. Savanam Kirtanam. The tattvavid must hear from the authorized person. Then he will speak. That is nice. Otherwise, there is no need of speaking. So those who have not heard from the authorized person, they may make a business by making himself Mauni Baba. Tavatcha sobhate murkha javat kinchin navhasat. A murkha, a dull, a rascal is very beautiful, so long he does not speak. Because as soon as he speaks, then his knowledge, his learning, his capacity, his position will be immediately exposed. So, our parampara line, Prahlad Maharaj has condemned this system, Mauni Baba. No. Our system is Kirtaniya Sadahari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. Tinadapi sine chaina tarurupi sahisnuna omanina manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. And Krishna also confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita. Satatang kirtantang mam jatantascha dhirabrata. There is Mahatma. Always glorifying the Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna. So this Krishna consciousness movement means this, Satatang kirtantang mam. 24 hours we have to glorify. Krishna is unlimited. God is unlimited. So, we have to chant glorifying his qualities unlimitedly. Srila Rupa Goswami says that how I shall glorify the Lord by chanting his name and pastime. I've got only one tongue. If I could possess millions of tongues and trillions of years, then it was possible to glorify the Lord to some extent. This is our business. You will be surprised that my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, sometimes Pandit Madan Mohan Malavya, a great politician, well-known political leader, he came to see him. So he inquired from my Guru Maharaj, what are your activities? So he describing his activity, he said that we have got 6 magazines, and out of them one is a daily, Dainik Nadia Prakash. Those who are resident of this place might know. So he was publishing one paper daily, Nadia Prakash. So Madan Mohan Mahalabha inquired that you are publishing daily one paper about spiritual subject? He said, yes, why not? Now he explained that this universe is only one of the millions universes. This small universe is one of the many, we get information from the Shastra. Jasaprabha prabhavato jagadanna koti. Jagadanna koti. Jagadanna means this universe. And there are kotis, unlimited. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dealing, when devotee Vasudev Datta, he pleaded to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, you have come, you take away all the inhabitants of this earth or within this universe. And if you think that they are so much sinful that they cannot be delivered, so you can transfer their sinful resultant actions, sinful activities unto me. I shall suffer. This is Vaishnava philosophy. That let others be delivered. And if they are unfit, sinful, all their sins may be transferred to me. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you do not require to take their sinful reaction, but even without your transferring, they can be delivered. But this is only one universe. And he compared that this universe is just like a grain of mustard.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear us okay? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So where did Srila Prabhupada start? What did Srila Prabhupada say?
It started with the absolute truth,
The word tattva.
tattva. And he said that it's spoken in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he went on to talk about the importance of the spiritual master, one who is qualified to speak the absolute truth. What was that? Tattva Bidi? No, what was he saying?
Tattva-vid.
Tattva that.
Tattva.
Yeah. And we need to hear actively from such a person.
The Tattva-vid must speak. Prabhupada said there is a propensity these days for something different. What was that?
Moni Baba.
Mona Baba, something like that. Monin Baba.
Moni
Moni
Baba.
Baba.
Monin. Yeah.
What does that mean?
One who
Someone who
does
doesn't
not
engage
speak.
in speaking.
Mona means silence.
Yeah, they think that they can show their spiritual advancement by not saying anything.
Prabhupada also invited those who do not hear from the authorized spiritual master to become Moni Babas, which I found very fun.
So he's emphasizing the importance to hear the correct information from a good source, and then it must be broadcast. Okay, what's the next point Srila Prabhupada made?
He was talking about the publications that the International Society for Krishna Consciousness had at that time. Some daily magazines, fortnight magazines, books.
Yeah, Prabhupada said we're producing 7 magazines, and one of them is a daily. And the man was surprised that there's so much to say. So what did Srila Prabhupada respond to that?
He said that there are so many universes, so many things are happening in so many universes. This is just one. So we have plenty of subject matter to discuss in the publications.
Yeah, even if we had 1,000 mouths and trillions of years, there would be no shortage of the glories of the Lord to be broadcast. And then he spoke about Vasudeva. What did he say about Vasudeva?
If I may, he said that related to Vasudev, he said he mentioned the real the symptom of a real Vaishnava. A Vaishnava, he cares more and better about the deliverance of others than he cares about his own deliverance. Even if he needs to go to hell because of the deliverance of others, he goes. He doesn't care. What he cares about is about the deliverance of other people.
Going to take on the sinful reactions of following.
Yeah, he doesn't matter. He doesn't care if he has to take the sinful reaction, suffer because of the sinful reactions of the sins of the others. What he accepts it. That is the symptom of a real Vaishnava.
Wow. Very good. Anything else?
I think that person was just talking about one universe, though, and then the response was that there are so many universes, right? This one's just a mustard seed.
You get me paper towel. Okay, let's go on. Let's hear what else Srila Prabhupada has to share with us.
In the mustard bag, say 100 kg mustard bag, and there is one mustard seed. So this universe is like that. So many universes are there. So my Guru Maharaj explained that this universe is only just like a grain of mustard seed among millions and trillions of universes. And in each and every universe, there are millions and trillions of planets. And this earthly planet is one of them. And in these planets, in earthly planet, there are so many cities. And in each city, there are so many daily papers. And each daily paper has got so many editions. This is only 1/4 exhibition of God's creation. If in one city there are so many news, people can read. So from the 3/4 creation of the world, Vaikuntha Jagat, we can give so many news that we can overflood them with news. Unfortunately, we have no customer. That is. So this is the position. Kirtan. Kirtan, we can glorify the Lord 24 hours. Oh, 24 hours we have got at our disposal. We have got only 24 hours. But unlimited. Ekangsena sthito jagat. This is only 1/4 part manifestation of the whole creation. There is no limit of Kirtan. That is unlimited. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction is that glorify the Lord continuously. Tinadapi sunichin. And as soon as you begin Kirtanya, Kiryal Kirtan of Krishna, then you will have many enemies. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally had many enemies. You know that. In this part, there was persecution, religious persecution by the then magistrate, Chand Kaji. His samadhi is still there. So, and we are also experiencing. Our only fault is that we are preaching the Sankirtan movement, and there are so many enemies, you see. So that is possible. Even the father become enemy. Prahlad Maharaj, a 5-year-old boy, and because he was chanting Hare Krishna mantra, his father became enemy. So you will have enemies. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us, warning us, that tinadupi sunichena tarorapi sahisnuna. You just become humbler than the grass. Just you trample over the grasses. It does not protest. Not only you, so many people are going on the grasses, but they tolerate. So tinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahisnuna. And he has given the example, tolerant than the trees. The trees are standing in one place, scorching heat and cold and rains. They are all suffering, and the people taking their leaves, taking their branches, woods, cutting them, taking fruit, and still the trees give you shelter. This is the example of tolerance. So tinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahisnuna amanina manadena. Everyone is in this material world is very much fond of getting honor. Although he is not honorable, still he wants to get honor. Although he is unfit, still he wants. That is the material propensity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you give them honor. Don't ask for yourself any honor, respect, but others you give them. That is the process of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching. As Prabhupada Saraswati has explained, Dante nidhayatinakang padayo nipatya kakusatang kritva cha ahang brabhimi he sadhava sakalameva vihaya dura chaitanya chanda charane kurutanuraga. He says, this is the process of preaching. My dear sir, I am falling down on your lotus feet and with folded hands and flattering you 1,000 times. And I have taken one grass in my mouth to show my humbleness. So you kindly hear my one word. What is that? Hey Sadhava, you are very great sadhu, but you have learned so many things. Hey Sadhava, Sakalameva vihaya durat. This is my request. That whatever you have learned, so many things, kindly forget. Kick them out. Then what shall I take? Chaitanya Chanda Charane Kurutanurag. Just become a servant on the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is my request. So we have to preach like that. Just flatter him, but request him that you forget all these bogus things. Simply take to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, here life will be successful. As it is, we have already. Tahar charanasrita sei boro dhanna. Anyone who takes shelter at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he becomes glorified. Sei boro dhanna. So our preaching should be like that. The Panchatattva, here it is said, we are discussing. Panchatattva avatirna
Did it cut out? Is it still
sankirtan
going?
চৈতন্যের সঙ্গে পঞ্চতত্ত্ব লইয়া করেন সংকীর্তন.
Remember where Srila Prabhupada started here.
Overflowing with information about overflowing for spiritual information. You can overflow the newspapers with spiritual information.
There's no shortage. You talked about how there are so many countless galaxies and universes.
He was also saying that when he was talking about the countless galaxies and universes and us being one mustard seed and so many cities and all this news, and that's just 1/4 of existence, the material world. The 3/4 is the spiritual world. So imagine how much news there is in the spiritual world. But then he joked very subtly, but they have no customers for such news.
I would like to comment on Prabhupada's point of view. When he speaks, it seems like he's talking to us from there, from the spiritual world. He's telling us how much news there is to have, and yet we have no customers here on earth in this material world. And the conviction and that point of view from calling us, whereas we, or at least myself, I feel like I'm thinking about this other world. Adi, you like to quote one of my favorite quotes, but I don't know the Sanskrit, about the reality of the spiritual world.
Yeah. Beyond this realm that we see and perceive with our senses, there's another entire dimension of existence.
And the key point here is dimension. We're now starting, and I'll be very quick with this, we're now starting to understand through quantum physics, frequencies, matrix, the sum and substance of what we hold to be the immediate material world is simply a slowed down energy, the lesser energy, not the Prakriti, that's us, we're middle ground, and not the Purusha, but the material energy itself, this painting that we're in. And Prabhupada seems to be speaking from the reality, the real. I just wanted to make a comment on that if we listen, we can see that he's calling us rather than pointing and instructing us.
Very good. What else did Srila Prabhupada say?
This is the second time Prabhupada brought up that we're in the line of Prahlad Maharaj. And from that, he connected us to the wonderful verse that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke, Trinadapi Sanuchena. And actually that verse Prabhupada brought up 6 times in this lecture so far. Once in the first section and now again. And then he connects it to the Bhagavad Gita 9:14, that the Mahatma is always glorifying the Lord, the Supreme Lord. So this is Krishna consciousness, that we should be giving 24 hours a day unlimitedly to glorify Krishna.
Very good. The context that he brought that point up to us, that if we glorify the Lord, there will be enemies. Right? If we glorify Krishna, we'll have adversity. People will be uncomfortable to hear that. And then he gave the example of Prahlad. Just because he was chanting, his father was ready to kill him. Anything else about enemies?
Yes, I have a contribution, but I don't want to be the only one speaking, so I
No,
can
it's
wait.
okay.
If,
It's okay, please.
oh,
Go ahead.
thank you very much. You're most kind. He said about enemies that when they come, these enemies, they want to feel like they want to be glorified because how scholarly they are. But then, what should be our approach when these enemies come and harass us? We should fall on our knees and beg from them for them to forget everything that they learn and everything that they know and change it for surrendering to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. Then and only then they will become really glorified.
Right, that is a strategy he's pointing out. Offering all respect to others, expecting none for ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, I guess we can go on and see what else Srila Prabhupada has to share with us. We have a little time.
Kirtan wrong. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has got his associates. That is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sangapanga Parsadam Jaggai Sankirtanai Prayai Jajanti Sumedha. This is the method of worshipping the Lord Vishnu. Jagga means worship the Supreme Lord. Jaggai Sankirtanai Prayai. Varnasamacharvata Purushena Parapaman Vishnu Aradhate Pungsang Nana Tattu Sukaran. This is civilization. Varnasam. One must observe the material world. The spiritual world, of course, there is no such thing as Varnasam. That is pure identity of the soul. So there is no. So long we are in this material world, there must be a scientific division of progress of life. That is Vedic system. Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. This is called Varnasam Dharma. I have repeatedly said that people call us Hindu in India. Actually, Hindu word is not visible in any Vedic literature. This is the name given by the Arabians to this part of the world on the bank of the Sindhu. From the Sindhu, the word Hindu has come. So, actually, our culture is Varnasam Dharma. Therefore, Shastra says, Varnasamacharvata Purushena Parapaman. In the Varnasam Dharma, the ultimate goal is to worship Lord Vishnu. whose name is Jagga. Uh, uh, out of many names of Lord Vishnu, one name is Jagga, Jagga Purusha. So Jagga, so anything performed to satisfy the Supreme Lord, that is called Jagga. So other Jaggas are not possible in this age, Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. The only Jagga, this Sankirtan movement. Jaggai Sankirtanai Prai Jajanti Sumedhas. If you want to perform Jagga and if you are intelligent, Sumedhasa, the two words has been used in Vedic literature. Sumedhasa and Alpamedhasa. In the Bhagavad Gita, this word has been used, Alpamedhasa. Tad bhavati alpamedhasam. In the matter of worshipping the demigods, kamastasta hitajnana jajanti anna devata. Antavattu phalam tesam. If you get some resultant action by worshipping demigods, that is antavat. Just like Hiranyakashipu. He got some benediction from Lord Brahma. Then Lord Brahma is not ordinary demigod, he is amongst the demigods, he is the head, Pitamaha. So Hiranyakashipu wanted benediction from Lord Brahma to become immortal. So immortality is not possible. Lord Brahma said that myself, I am myself not immortal. How can I give you? It is not possible. So Hiranyakashipu took indirectly, negative way, that I shall not die this way, I shall not die this way, I shall not die this way, negative way. So he thought himself to be very intelligent demon. So even that benediction was given, but still he was killed by Nishingadev. Therefore, antavattu phalam tesam. Even by tricks or by penance or austerities, you take some benediction from the demigods, even if you are awarded, that is described in the Bhagavad Gita, antavattu phalam tesam tad bhavati alpamedhasa. People want to be satisfied with little benefit. With little benefit. No, that is not our mission. We want the supreme benefit. Supreme benefit is that you are now entangled in the process of birth, death, old age and disease, in the material existence. The real benefit is how to save yourself from these four difficulties. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanudarsanam. We are embarrassed with so many difficulties. But real difficulty is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age.
What did Srila Prabhupada say? Hare Krishna. Can you hear us? Where did Prabhupada start this section? Krishna Varnam Maya Tristam. You know that verse? What did he say? Those who are intelligent. Go on.
Prabhupada mentioned that worship of Vishnu, he's the Yagya Purusha, and worship and Yagya is something that needs to be done by, and probably the intelligent people would do that in this age of Kali Yuga.
Krishna Vardam Trisa Krishna Sango Pangashtu. But it says that Yagya Sankirtana Maya Yajantihi Sumeda Saha. He quoted that verse. In the age of Kali, those who are intelligent will perform the Sankirtan Yagya. Myself, I was struggling every day to sit down and chant 2 hours. And the doubts come up. Is this what I'm supposed to do? And fortunately, Srila Prabhupada has told us very clearly, yes, chant the holy name. So we're trying to focus very carefully on offering the holy name to the Lord for the pleasure of our spiritual master. And this is a process of purification. So Prabhupada spoke about yagya a little bit. Does anybody remember anything?
Yes, I remember he said yagya is anything that is done to satisfy the Lord. That is yagya. And in this day and age, the prescribed yagya that works is Sankirtan yagya, congregational chanting of the holy name.
He spoke about Hiranyakasipu performing austerities. Does anybody remember?
And he was trying to perform all these various austerities to figure out a way to become immortal and to overcome the, birth, old age, disease, and death. And he went to Brahma to seek that because he's the top demigod, but he's not immortal and said it's not possible. But he was trying to perfect himself and become very intelligent, but in the end, Hiranyakashipu.
Very good. This is a recommended yagya, and
Yeah.
people are looking for some benefit, some little benefit. Srila Prabhupada says, but this is the greatest benefit. Well, Gloria says the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart, right? I get the greatest benefit by performing the Sankirtan yagya.
We should note that it's congregational chanting of the holy name, and wherever 2 or more gather in my name, Krishna says, there I am also. So one of the qualifying factors for Sankirtan to be a jagya that pleases Krishna is that we do it together, whether it's just a husband and wife or 2 kids or a whole congregation at a temple, that getting together in Krishna's name is what really pleases him. The most important part about that is getting together. As Prabhupada said, if you love me, you'll cooperate. So that's a jagya. That's a yagya. These days, sometimes we're not getting along with our closest ones. Sometimes we're not getting along with somebody, a fellow devotee, but we have to sacrifice. We have to sacrifice our ego. We have to sacrifice our desire to control. We have to sacrifice what might be wrong vision, right vision at the wrong time, and to be humble enough, trinadapi sanuchana, to bend with it, and to even sometimes take the blows of an axe, or to have someone take the fruit of your work and not say thank you. This is all in the congregation that we always have to, Prabhupada says, we always have to understand that Krishna is there at all times watching us. And the thing that makes him smile is, of course, when we get together for his sake.
Prabhupada said that the greatest austerity you're going to have to perform in this life is to work with the other devotees.
We did hear a couple of other things that I thought were really important from Prabhupada today. One was that Varnashram Dharma is for here, but it doesn't have to happen in the spiritual world. And then there was a quote that I always am telling people when they ask me if I'm a Hindu. Prabhupada said it's just the Arabians, they came to the Sindhu River and they couldn't pronounce it, so they called all the people Hindus, but really we're Gaudiya Vaishnavas, so this word Hindu isn't even a religion of any kind.
There's no Hindu in the Vedic literature.
Yes, but what did he say? He said that what are we if we're not Hindus? He didn't say Gaudiya Vaishnavism, right? I mean, I know that we are the tradition, but was he talking about Varnashram? Is what I couldn't understand the words he was using after that when he said what we are.
Maybe
What it is.
Sanatana Dharma? Is that what he was referring to?
No.
He said Varnashram.
Yeah, Varnashram. He said that's it. Like he was like sort of saying like that's the religion is what I heard. I don't know if that's right, but what I heard.
And what is Varnashram? Is it about farming? Is Bhima Prabhu part of Varnashram?
I think he mentioned about Brahmin, Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya.
He referred to it as a culture, Varnashram ashram culture, rather than religion, I believe.
Okay, dear Pandits, senior devotees, please comment. What is Varnashram in the context of this class?
The Lord indicates these 4 varieties of propensity as a way to include everyone, even if they have a different propensity, in activity to sustain the general society and to progress to the point of devotional service to Krishna. There is progression. It's a good structure to include people, everyone.
Vanashram Dharma is like a playing field. We have a field in which of course, we have the field of the body and the mind, but then we also have a field of society. And within it, we are, based on our constitution, we are giving a variety of duties. If we can relax into those duties and perform them vigilantly and with care, maybe eventually with the artistic poise of love, we are able to then dovetail everything in Krishna's service. So if we know what we need to do, then to simply do it and give it to Krishna is the easy part, as long as you're humble enough to do so. But you have to know what you need to do. That's why, of course, we get the instructions to surrender to a spiritual master, which includes the spiritual master's vision. If the spiritual master's vision is to distribute books, then are we a printer? Are we a distributor? Are we a typesetter, etc.? So it really works in seamlessly and synergistically, that whatever station in life we take it and we get at that station, we hop on the train back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Everyone has some service to do in their own capacity. Everyone is included. Even a little squirrel was throwing little specks of dust in the ocean, and the monkeys were making fun of the squirrel. And Lord Ram came and said, "Stop laughing. He's doing it. He's serving according to his capacity." So that's us, squirrels and birdies, right, Jeffrey Prabhu? Okay, darshan time.
Right here. You get upset.
Sri Radha Murida, Gora Chanjan Siva Bhagavata Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Conservation Master, the only way. That is grace when we brought to take us to see Krishna. Is my Lord. The very scriptures, our spiritual master,
Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu, Janitai Prabhu. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Arjuna Prabhu. Thank you, Vasudev and Balakrishna Prabhu. Thank you, Manohar. Okay, welcome to the Afterglow. Would anyone like to comment? Servant according to one's capacity. Could be a wonderful subject matter. We all have certain inclinations, certain propensities, and if we engage that in bhakti, that is very sustainable and we'll be satisfied. We can't do it any other way, basically. Imagine if somebody like Vaisheshika Prabhu had an office job, who would give all those classes? Me? Or Jeffrey Eckler? It's better than me. Yes, yes. So yeah, birdies fly. You know, elephant can stomp, grasshopper can hop. So why not engage that in service? It's sustainable, and we can do it really nicely if we serve Krishna within our capacity, within our propensity. There's nothing wrong in this. There's no Maya in this. It's gonna come out good. Right, Bhima Prabhu? Are you engaged? Shoveling horse manure, is that your propensity somehow?
Yeah, because I'm listening to you too. So it's sort of this one and the same. Um, I think the most important here is he performs it joyfully. Always
Yeah.
remember that. You have to be joyful. And if you're not joyful, then you have to go back through your itinerary, your inventory. What are you holding in stock there in your chest that's getting in the way of the fact that we can't think of Krishna at every moment and understand the wonderful things he does and how wonderful he is and the wonderful place he gave us to come and learn our lesson. Even our so-called prison can be made into heaven if we bring him into it. So, and then of course that yagya is joyfully performed. This is very important. We forget we forget about that. We think it's yagya. You got to suffer, you got to burn, But ultimately, you can dance in fire. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's joyfully performed. Sankirtan Yagya is joyfully performed. It's our duty to chant Hare Krishna and to be happy. Jai. And is there a contradiction between what the Guru may instruct us to do and our propensity? What if we think I should be a big time leader and my Guru is asking me to mop the floor? Is there a contradiction in this? Can Guru give an instruction that's not in line with our propensity? Can that happen? Would anyone like to comment on that? Krishna Kumari?
I think it can happen. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I've seen it happen.
Yeah, but Guru means heavy. There will be some pushing, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
No,
what's
it's
the
great to
point?
wash the floor and it's great to clean the dishes and it's great to give class. Some people are asked to give class and that is their surrender because they don't have that,
Yeah.
it's humbling for them, whereas somebody else it's
Yeah.
humbling to mop the floor. But
Sure.
I have seen it firsthand where I just heard a story this week of a child, telling the parents grew asking the child what they want to do when they grow up, and the kid saying, "Oh, I want to be like a filmmaker," and the guru saying, "Oh, what else?" And then the child saying, "Oh, maybe this or that," and then the guru fanning that idea because it seems um, more advanced. But really, the mother is the first guru, and the parents do see what a child's disposition is and what their nature is for serving in their varna and their dharma. So I think sometimes it's okay to critically think that I'm a little bit on the other side. You guys are all so advanced and just surrendering, and I'm questioning. So
Someone has to
you
do
might
it.
not want to hear from me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna Kumar. Someone's got to do it.
You know, that kid shrunk. Then that's we don't want to make people shrink, and I think sometimes even the guru they become guru because of the need to have guru in this world, but it's in this society, but they don't they might not know everything about you. You might know more about your own nature, and if you're able to make honest assessments, you might know what's a better way to serve Krishna. I did hear a lovely talk by Mahatma this week, and he was saying that the person that's struggling, somebody might be doing everything perfectly, serving Krishna, following the four regs, they're doing all this service, and somebody else might be really struggling to do these things, to even follow the four regs, but they're trying so hard. So Krishna's seeing that effort, just like you were talking about the squirrel. So we can't really understand, like each person's an individual. Everybody has their own relationship with Krishna that's like no one else's. So yeah, sometimes I think devotees have to advocate for themselves if they're honest and they're doing the work and they're checking in with their own progress, because we could all just become lackadaisical and thinking I'm checking off the boxes, but sometimes there is a little place where we might need to clean up our heart a little bit more, whether it's criticisms or just things we don't want to give up in our senses. So, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna Kumari. I'm thinking of Srila Prabhupada and the way he handled such things. He sent Tamal Krishna Goswami, he told him to go to China, and Tamal Krishna Goswami got kind of uncomfortable. It was, why China? Why? What am I going to do? But then he ended up going, and it all played out nicely. And so there are some other instances where Srila Prabhupada would change the service of a particular devotee to better accommodate them according to where they were on their path to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada showed extreme accommodation, flexibility, and also, he preserved the core, the service attitude, and how it externally manifests, that may change, but the essence is, I'm here to serve, to please. And our Guru, His Holiness Sachinandan Swami, he didn't give us like specific instructions. You should do this job or that. You should marry this person. That. None of that. He said you should read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. That's the instruction that we received, right? And then how I'm gonna build my life around Srimad Bhagavatam. That's my part of the equation. Like Krishna Kumari said that we all have a role to play. We should take matters in our own hands when it's our responsibility. So that's there. So thank you for pointing that out, Krishna Kumari.
And also, I love that you brought up that point. Like, yeah, because I was in Mayapur in '96 and or '95, and the Chinese devotees brought these beautiful hats that like turned into these like little, yeah.
They all had hats.
And it was because Prabhupada sent Tamal Krishna Goswami there. But I have seen in present day, the GBC back in the day when I joined, Brooklyn was like the place nobody wanted to go, and the devotees that got in trouble, they sent them to Brooklyn, and they didn't tell us devotees in Brooklyn that these devotees are here because they're, how Raghunath would say, a dented can, and we're like, serving them like they're perfect. But now I'm looking back like, wow, I was doing all this service and looking at these personalities like this, and maybe that's good as a new devotee, but yeah, there were some imperfections, I don't know. I really think Prabhupada is special, and I think we can't just put everybody on that do whatever the guru says platform. I think it's okay to really, self evaluate and
for sure. Yeah.
We have to understand that the Father is pleased when the Son surpasses him. That the Father doesn't want to simply get up every morning and have to tell the child over and over again what needs to get done. That the child sees that there's a house to maintain, and then that there's fields to be kept, and that there's animals to be fed, and the child takes it of his own volition to do so. So that the mission of the Guru, the essence of Prabhupada, the essence, what is the essence? Preaching is the essence. Utility is the principle. Purity is the force. This is the instructions of the spiritual master. Our current gurus, if they are preaching this and we are following that in essence, then we have nothing to worry about. Whether you're a filmmaker or a horse manure shoveler, you know, the thing
Yeah,
is that
Bhima Prabhu
we have,
received a wonderful instruction from his guru, right? Was that in line with your
yeah,
propensities?
yes, yep, it is to be alone and not to hassle other people. So, yeah, the thing is that it is also very simple. Prabhupada, always remember, Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple, and that doesn't mean simple-minded. It means non-duplicious. Simple for the simple, complicated for the complicated. So if we find ourselves in some convoluted mess as to what we think that the guru wants us to do, remember what Prabhupada said. Preaching is the essence, purity is the force, utility is the principle. What was the other one? I know there's 4 of them.
What's the fourth?
Books are the basis.
Books are the basis. Thank you.
Or classes like this, or speaking Shastra to each other, always reminding to stay on the straight and narrow, very easy to deviate, philosophically speaking, which is, of course, like turning a rudder on a ship. You only need to move it a little bit, and you're going to miss the island. You're going to miss Golok by, a couple universes. So books are the basis. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Hold it, someone's talking. Anandi, is that you? You want to say something, Anandi? No? Okay, thank you. Yes, Sankirtan movement means we're in this together, and it's a system of checks and balances. Imagine if you're alone, I would go crazy. I need somebody to wake me up every day, slap me on both cheeks. What are you thinking? So we need that. We need each other. We need Sadhvi Didi.
Hare Krishna. Please forgive me. I'm not going to sound so well, but it's okay. I'm trying to do my best. I have had surgery. I can only talk about the experience I myself had. It's on the today's situation where many preaching happen online, and many join via online and not via temple and so on. It is very easy for a spiritual teacher to know the real situation of participant, where they ask questions, they ask to learn things, and so on and so on, and then they got some kind of how to say some kind of do this, for instance, and without knowing if this person who is asking what can I do more, if this person can do it or not. For instance, I'm talking about myself now. I walk with walker. I can't go without walker. I might as well be sitting in a wheelchair. And if I ask someone, some spiritual teacher who is preaching, who is having lecture on Zoom, what do I do? Without this spiritual teacher knowing if I physically can, telling something to me to do physically without knowing me well. And if I say, I'm so sorry, I can't do it, unfortunately, it's very dangerous because it means that you are doing aparat. And that's what I believe is very important to be mentioned many times, that the people who are online, who are learning via Zoom or online and so on, to not to ask before letting spiritual teacher know exactly what you are about. Because when you don't say it, and then the spiritual teacher says, you know what, pack your things and move to the Indian. And you walk with walker. And I have heard so many things about it's impossible in many, many places. It's impossible to walk with walker. It's very difficult. If you don't have help, it's impossible. You can't do it. You shouldn't go there. And if a spiritual teacher says you have to do it, and you say no, I'm sorry, I can't, then it means that you have done very, very bad thing. You know what I mean? Then it means that you are taking on yourself a karma by not obeying the spiritual teacher. You know what I mean?
Yes, Sadhvi Devi, thank you so much. Yeah, guru-disciple relation, it's a relationship. And relationship means the two uh, parts of the relationship, they get to know each other before they get into a deep relationship. You know,
Yes.
it's a valid point. Yeah. And normally that's what we observe. You know, a guru will not give a specific instruction without being on a certain level of depth in their relationship with the disciple. That's what we observe. That's kind of, I don't know. I haven't seen otherwise. Maybe it's just me. Okay, Jiv Jago Das, Jiv Jago. Yes, wake up. Time to wake up. I love Das.
Is that Das in a black coat and a hat? Is that Das
Yeah,
there?
yeah. It
That's
looks like
unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Here's a guy who did the whole winter in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, bare legs, and now
dress
he's got a
warmly,
coat
Das. This
on
is
and
your
a hat.
instruction from your guru, Shiksha Guru Bhima. Take it seriously.
Das is my Shiksha guru. I'm just his health guru. Yeah, it's good to see him all bundled up. That's an instruction from the spiritual master. Keep your health together. That's more important, because how are you going to serve if your health is down? Gotta take care of ourselves, because it's like if we have a car that's in service of Krishna, we want it to be shiny, new, clean, and well maintained. We should not take that car to its edge because it's not ours. So all glories to bundling up warm. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Okay, Anandi, please finish the yagya by saying Hare Krishna or whatever you want to say. You're in Vrindavan. We want to hear from you, Anandi. The devotees are helping Anandi getting around Vrindavan because they love her. Krishna consciousness is a Sankirtan movement. We are in this together. If somebody can't walk, you'll be carried like Anandi in Vrindavan. Anandi is unstoppable. Come on, Anandi, you can unmute yourself. You can do it. Use your nose if you have to. There she is.
Yes. Well, the one thing I want to say is yes, everybody on this pilgrimage helped me, including Doyal. I mean, he pushed the wheelchair, and I can never forget. And everybody should try to do this yatra, because the love that develops between everybody is just so significant. And yeah, and I saw your guru. I thought about you. I wanted to yell out, "You have the most wonderful disciple," but he was also very.
Please don't do that, Anandi.
No, I didn't. But he was so sweet, and he had this program about Holi in Vrindavan, and he was sitting there with this turban around his head, and he gave it to one of his disciples, in darshan, and it was so joyful just seeing that. I mean, the guru is everything. That's all I can say. The guru, the dust of the guru's feet, the guru. And he thought I was the crazy lady because I held his hand as he was walking around. And I said, "Oh, Krishna Das sends his love," and I think he thought I was a little crazy, but then he understood what I was saying later in the darshan, and he remembered my name. I mean, how cool is that? He kept saying, "Oh, Anandi and Rukmini." So yeah, I mean, that smile, that darshan, everything. I think I could easily leave my body now. And I might because I feel pretty sick. And I was in the wheelchair, and people really had to help me. And everybody did. Everybody did. So, anyway, it's
That's
wonderful. Sorry, go ahead.
that's the answer to who spoke prior, right to before you, who had the walker. What's the Mataji's name
Sadhvi
who just
Didi.
spoke?
Sadhvi.
Sadhvi Didi mentioned about going to India and not being able to get around, and here we have a case where Nandini has gone and have had someone show up to help her and have one of a blessed experience. So we see that Krishna, we have to have a little bit of faith. Obviously, you do what you think is right. That's very important. But at the same time, we just see how wonderful Krishna is in providing that, carrying what we lack, maintaining what we have, but carrying what we lack. That Krishna comes through. All of us, to some extent, have walkers. They might be
Yeah, we all
mental
have walkers. That's right, Bima.
mental crutches, man. I only move so fast in as far as surrender goes. I'm at a creep, and I've seen devotees come in, and within a year they've got the Bhagavad Gita memorized, and they've given over themselves to 24/7 service within a year. And I'm 40 years in, and I'm fighting all the way. So we all have walkers. We all need a
Well, they
little
took
help. We
me.
all get by with a little help from our friends.
That's right. And that's how I'm surviving here. And they took me in a wheelchair to the Krishna Balaram temple, which was next door to the MVT. And it was my dream to see the 24-hour kirtan. And it was all just so sublime, Every single person on that pilgrimage helped me. I never had to worry about my bags, where they were. Somebody the other took care of it. I can't forget Tima, who was one of the people on the pilgrimage, saying, "Hold on to me, I'm really strong. Hold on to me, I'm really strong." So it's so beautiful to be in the association of devotees. That's all I can say. And the guru is everything.
Thank you,
So
Ananda.
do you want me to say Hare Krishna?
Of
This
course.
is
Well, Hare
this would
Krishna from Vrindavan Dham. Oh, and the one last thing. So I got to do parikrama of Govardhan today, and I didn't walk around. I was in a tuk-tuk, and it was the most surreal experience. At one point, the road was just filled with these, like, tuk-tuks that are like, I don't know how to describe them. And I don't know how people cross the street, drive. You just have to surrender. There's no other way. There's just no other way. And I kept thinking, that's Govardhan that I'm like circling, that's Govardhan. How lucky am I? How wonderful is Krishna? And it's never to be forgotten. And hopefully I'll get my act together, and this is the last lifetime. So I must have done something right somewhere along the line. I don't know what, but to be in this experience. And yes, and that's what I did. I was very afraid to come to India. I really was. And my knees were starting to buckle a little bit, and I thought, I'm just going to do it. If not now, then when? Just do it. And everybody has been really great. Everybody. I mean Doyal pushing the wheelchair, can you imagine? I was like, I'm a test for all these people. you know so And the Kirtan festival in Rishikesh is also not to be missed. This lifetime, everybody tried to come. So And yes, you can't walk around, you can't do the parikrama of Govardhan. There's always the tuk-tuks. It's an experience. And I think somehow some cows were like looking at me, and they were like, "Oh, we'll leave her alone." Yes, I love you all.
Anandi stole the show. Thank you so much. I
Thank
feel
you.
like I'm on that pilgrimage too, being pushed
Yes.
around.
By the way, the experience of Holi was unbelievable. I mean, they told the story. It started in Vrindavan, Holi with Krishna and Radha. And to experience it with Sachinanda and Maharaj was like, yeah, a transcendental experience. That's all I can say. And the colors that were on my clothes and my face and all of that, I didn't even want to wash it off. It was just so sublime.
Yeah, come back
But
like that. Yeah, Anandi.
yes, when we think of all of you guys, I kept saying to Dayal, I was like, Ananda Bihari Prabhu said we should tune in from India. Like, let's do it. But it's dinner time here, and it's time for like evening activities, so it was hard. But it's not because we didn't think of you guys. We wanted to surprise you, like Doyal and Amrita Kishori and Dominica, and but like I said, it was always we were either having dinner or they were doing things, or you know. But I'm on my own now, by the way, just so you guys know. They've all gone home.
Okay, Anandi. Anandi, keep. One thing that you did right was that you threw yourself in the association of the devotees.
Yes, I did.
That's one thing, one of many things, Anandi. So thank you so much for your example, for being so joyful, and for sharing the joy with us here. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Hare Krishna from Vrindavan Dham and Govardhan.
Hare Krishna from Vrindavan Dham. Thank you, Anandi. Okay, Anupam has his hand raised. Anupam, are you available to speak?
Yes, Hare
After
Krishna.
Anandi, I'm not sure
It's,
if you can do it, but
I know, yeah, no, it's going to be very difficult. I first wanted to acknowledge that it's so heartwarming to see you there, Nandi, and having known you for some years and to see you there at this stage of your life in Vrindavan. It's really emotional for me, actually, and genuinely heartwarming to see how Krishna loves you and he's taking care of you through his devotees there in Vrindavan. So thank you
Oh,
for that.
thank you.
And I just wanted to offer an alternative perspective on the spiritual master and their instructions, in that from my perspective and from what I've seen and personally realized in Krishna consciousness, the real core essential thing is to find a bona fide spiritual master, someone who is genuinely a representation, manifestation of the super soul as Krishna. Those people are out there. They're extremely rare, extremely rare. And Krishna Kumar is right. There are a fair share of people who maybe more so because of social reasons or because there's a need will take up the post of a spiritual master, and that's also noble in its own right. But at the same time, we can't lose the faith and the understanding that there are gurus in the world who are pure devotees and are manifestations of the super soul and are therefore very much able to guide us in the right way based on their connection with Krishna, who they have a very intimate relationship with. And just from my own side, I received an instruction from my spiritual master regarding book distribution back in 2015 when I was 2 years in the movement. I was 20 years old. And at the time, I wasn't even considering him my spiritual master. I was more interested in a different guru and kind of considered him maybe perhaps a Siksha guru. But I was also more interested in studying, writing, and I didn't really think book distribution was for me. I'd done it, a few times and, enjoyed it, but I was thinking, it's not really my nature. I'm more into more quiet, introverted things. And for 2 years after I received that instruction, I struggled mightily in Krishna consciousness. And I was hot and cold, and I genuinely wanted to be a good devotee, but I was out of the association of devotees. I'd gone back home, went to school, and trying my best to be with them, but I just couldn't get it back, get back that inspiration and that fixity that I had once had. And as soon as I started to remember that instruction that he had given me in Govardhan Hill in 2015, and started trying to carry it out sincerely, my entire spiritual life completely transformed, and my entire life in general completely transformed. And I again was able to become somewhat fixed up in Krishna consciousness and inspired and connected with Krishna, even though the instruction was completely against my nature and according to who I am and who I've always been, a more introverted, writing, reading, studying, behind the scenes thing, would have been more in line with that. But it's a fact in my life that because I instead chose to follow that instruction, and because that instruction came from someone who I know is a bona fide spiritual master in the true sense of the term, then I've always been protected. To the extent that I'm carrying out that instruction, to that extent, I've been fortified in my Krishna consciousness and inspired and connected, even if I'm so busy with other things, working jobs and have other things going on in my life that would seemingly derail me. As long as I'm maintaining that connection to book distribution, then I've always felt fully connected and supported spiritually. So just an alternative perspective there that I wanted to offer for everybody's consideration. Thanks.
Thank you, Anupam Prabhu. Yeah, with the instructions from the Guru comes the strength and ability to fulfill it. We should not forget that. Thank you, Anupam. Now, please say Hare Krishna in a way like a child is calling out for their mother, please.
Let's see. Hare Krishna?
Okay, all right. An introverted child. That was an introverted child.
I just want to, can I say one more thing?
Yes, Ananda.
Share one experience. So when we were in Rishikesh, Dayal said to me, they were going out one night and they were going to listen to Raghunath and listen to him chant. And I want to tell you guys that when we got to wherever this place was happening, this event, there seemed to be 1,000,000 stairs to climb. 1,000,000, I swear to you. And Dayal was behind me and kept saying, "You can do it, you can do it." And I did it. And at one point I was like, I'm going to have to come down these stairs. I mean, does he know this? And it was the whole team coaxing me down. Dominica, who listens to this class, she was like my heroine. She was like, you can do, all of them. They were like, you can do it. You can do it. One more step. You got this. I wish you guys could see these devotees cheering me, telling me I could do it, helping me onto the wheelchair, holding my hand, making sure, and then even saying at one point when we had Govardhan, I don't think she can walk anymore. We need to get a wheelchair. I mean, they were really taking care of me. And this is what devotees do for each other. It was so beautiful. It was just so beautiful. So yeah, I can't say enough about devotee association. And that's what I'm praying for. And we kept you all of you in this morning class in our heart, even though we may have not have tuned in because we were having dinner or something, but you were there with us. So yes, that's all I
This is
wanted
what
to say.
Krishna consciousness is all about.
Yes, and that night when I did the stairs, 1,000,000 and 1,000,000 down, I was, singing. I was listening to Led Zeppelin, "Stairway to Heaven," and I told
That's great.
yes, I mean, I would just kept thinking, this is the stairway to heaven. And when we got up, Raghunath, it was such a beautiful kirtan. It was such a beautiful kirtan, and he kept saying, "New York." They were all sitting together. He would call out to them. So it was really beautiful. Yes, so beautiful. And people would say to me, I like. Amrita Kishori, she was like, I know you, Anandi, from the Bhagavatam class. And Dominica said the same thing. So this class is very, very powerful. If you're in this class, you've got connections. And I had, I was riding on the strength of being in this class. So thank you all, and Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Anandi. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to the Devotee Association.
Yes.
Connections in Vrindavan.
All
Yes.
glories to Vrindavan Dham. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Happy Tuesday. Go to your cubicle if it's a cubicle. Work for Krishna according to your propensity, and everything is going to be all right. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bhima Prabhu, go to your stall.